Oh my god. Welcome back, everyone. It is LaughNgamez here. I am back, and it is time for another Starcraft 2 1 versus 1 replay cast. And today we have got AlphaStar. And God, my jaw just dropped to the floor when I clicked on this replay. We have got a Silver Zerg gonna be trying to take on AlphaStar. The map is Cyber Forest. It is a Silver Zerg taking on AlphaStar. I thought gold was as low as we'd go, but the answer is no. We can go a little bit lower than gold. So, yeah, I'm not sure what to make out of this one. We have already got a very creative build coming out of our silver player, the old extractor first, into Overlord, into spawning pool. So something a little bit unorthodox already, but we're just gonna roll with it. We're casting every single AlphaStar game on this channel. That's all I can say. From silver to grandmaster, apparently. From silver to pro level. Yeah. We take a look here. Silver players going for an early pool. I mean, he already built his Overlord. He's got the extra hatchery on the way now too, so it kind of looks like a normal build. And I'm not gonna knock it. We'll see what he's gonna be able to do against AlphaStar. This silver player is taking on very advanced, very expensive AI that tons of people had spent a lot of hard work on. And we'll see if he's going to be able to Ling cheese him out. That's what we're looking at here right now. So ladies and gentlemen, seeing as how there is 6 Lings being made by the silver player, let's try and hit 6 likes on this video. And of course, if you guys are new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe to get your daily dose of StarCraft 2. Alright, silver player cruising at a pretty decent APM for someone that's silver. The Lings are going to run right into the Reaper. AlphaStar is going to begin doing an inhuman micro. Picks off 1 Ling for starters. The Reaper going to keep just being microed back. The Lings say, we don't want any of that. But it's kind of the darned if you do, darned if you don't. You can't really run away from the Reaper. However, the Lings do manage to pick off that 1 Marine. Not going to be able to delay the CC at all due to the Reaper finding these Lings right away, but that's not all. But wait, there's more. We've got another 8 Zerglings being fired up by the silver player. A spine crawler is gonna be getting built. Now that's a big brain play, and it's not just 1. It's 2 spine crawlers. If you have a hard time dealing with a Reaper, just build a spine crawler in your base, ladies and gentlemen, and then a roach warren. Alright, I dig it. This silver player's freestyling. Freestyling for days. Now, these 8 Lings are going to move out across the map. There's actually a bunker for AlphaStar on the high ground, loading that up with Marines. These Lings run right into that SCV. Gonna make sure that nothing's mining at the natural, but if they go up that ramp, they're gonna have themselves a bad time, and they do have themselves a bad time. Maybe gonna get the Reaper. That would actually be nice. Yes, gets the Reaper, so good job on that. Gets the scout off on their opponent. And does see that AlphaStar's wall is not the best wall. It is not a great wall. Okay, the silver player now going to be pumping out some roaches, fires up +1 attack, so he's got an idea. This is just the silver freestyle that we're seeing right now, and he's actually doing things like alright, I'd say. Like, it's not like he's got like drones just sitting there idling. He's making things. He's actually keeping his money pretty low. And that's not an easy thing to do in StarCraft, however. Now we see this 1 queen, she's coming down, gonna pop down her creep tumor. And if we do take a look, there is, yeah, the +1, an extra queen on the way. All the while, AlphaStar gonna be getting out a 3rd CC, firing up another Liberator. So Liberator harassment is gonna be coming the silver player's way. We'll see how he's gonna be able to deal with this, if at all. The Spine Crawler is helping defend against these Hellions. The big brain play shuts that down like, what, 1 drone died, so kinda worth it. Kinda worth it. I honestly don't dislike moves from this. If you are like a lower level player, it's like, just throw up a spine crawler if you have a hard time dealing with something. because the spine crawler, yes, it costs quite a bit, but at the same time, the amount of damage you take from like harassment or something like that, or the amount of the amount of damage that you take from harassment, or simply just the fact that like the amount of damage you take basically just not paying attention to what's coming your way, really, because you're busy trying to deal with that one thing. Anyway, we're now going to be seeing an attack from the silver player. The 4 roach squad is going to run forward right into the liberator, right into the siege tank, and so I don't think this is going to go too well, but they actually get on top of the tank, and so there's nothing in order to actually kill off these roaches until the tank unsieges, and then the roaches will be finished off one by one. Good defense there from AlphaStar, all the while the liberator gets dealt with back at the silver player's base, but the silver player still only on 18 drones, throwing up more spore crawlers. But this one is not looking too good, and this guy takes his static defense very seriously. This looks like a base like the Starcraft campaign AI would build, like a couple of extra spore crawlers, not necessarily in the most important spots, not like optimal saturation, not mining full tilt. There's a roach warren, there's a spine crawler, a queen just hanging out, and then just a random evo chamber there somewhere too. A couple of extra spore crawlers. I like this. I like what I'm seeing. As far as actually winning the game goes, though, I'm not having a lot of faith for this silver player, and would like to remind everyone who's tuning into this that we'll probably be having, oh, I don't know. Let's take a look here. While we wait a second, there's currently 90 replays, including this one left to go. I'd say about another 40 of them are some lower AlphaStar matches, and then there's some higher ones, of course. Spore Crawler are going to have to reposition to deal with this extra Liberator harassment that's coming. The Spore will pop out, though. Start shooting away on that Liberator. The second Spore Crawler is going to move, box the Liberator in, and the Silver player is floating a little bit of money right now. The supply is 34 to 99. AlphaStar is probably looking just to totally wreck this guy. Hopefully the next match is going to be a little bit more of a contest. Stim on the way for AlphaStar. Mule's dropping at the third base, that's being saturated very well. +1, siege tank, liberator on the way. AlphaStar, of course, doesn't know that this player is not playing completely optimally. So otherwise, the AI might just like try and move across the map and end the game right now. Instead, though, it's just moving around with these medivacs, dropping a little bit. We'll see these Marines are now gonna unload on top of the creep. They see the Lings, though, and they're like, oh, the Lings are there, better get out of there. In reality, this many Marines could probably just end the silver player. But AlphaStar is still just gonna bounce around with these medivacs, getting that armory on the way, gonna be getting up the extra eBay. Throwing up some more barracks, all that good stuff. This drop gonna unload here, gonna set to work on this Overlord. These Marines don't actually have stim yet, so they're not quite at their full potential. There is another drop moving out on the map, though. The drop decides to turn around to deal with those Lings that ran in, but those Lings completely just got obliterated. That was every single Ling that died for the silver player running into AlphaStar's mass siege tank count. This drop is hitting this base. One of the Spore Crawlers does get picked off. The silver player was building another spine. Unfortunately, that spine will not stand. It will fall. Some roaches, though, do pop out. They're going to move forward, start picking off those Marines. AlphaStar cruising at 3 times the supply of the silver player. And if I had to say so, this is the worst case of baby seal clubbing we've ever seen from AlphaStar. Bopping on a silver player. Giving him a very, very hard life. These Marines gonna unload. They've now got Stim Pack. They'll be able to really put the pressure on the silver player who doesn't actually have any Banelings. There is a decent number of Ravagers, though, and some Lings. Maybe enough to push this away. However, it is 30 drones to 71 SCVs. It is 36 army supply to 117. AlphaStar is almost maxed out. Probably clear to go for the push soon. These Marines just hanging out in this location. They are now going to move forward. They don't have combat shield, but they're still going to stim in. They're going to attack this hatchery. Will they get the pickoff? Looks like they will indeed. AlphaStar then just loads on up, boosts on away. Actually pretty much just right over the Zerg's face, and is going to unload in the natural now. Has to lift up though. Can't just fight those. Oh, corrosive biles go down for the silver player. Not quite in position. Once these Marines have combat shield, I'll say that they can probably actually fight the army of the silver player head on. Not to mention everything else that's going to move across the map and actually just end the game. So we can get on into the next one. But we got to give it to the silver player. He gave it the good old college try. He actually had like, I actually liked watching his play style. It was unique. It wasn't just like filled with mistakes. Of course, the macro and everything could have been better as we watch his Ravagers get eviscerated. But yeah, it was something. It wasn't the worst game in the world. Okay, so jumping up a few ranks, we now have AlphaStar taking on a Diamond player who's got a lot to live up to if he wants to look better than that Silver player, that's for sure. Anyway, we have got this Diamond Terran taking on AlphaZ, which is always fun. TVZ, a great matchup. Lately, as far as the pro games go, been watching a lot of games on Golden Wall, and I really like those ones because it leads to a lot of macro games in TVZ, which I really, really like. Now, we have got AlphaStar just droning up, gonna be throwing up its hatchery, most likely. I'd be surprised if it goes for like a 16 pool, but it's not unheard of. And there we have it. All the while, the Terran player going for that barrack, then into the gas, so usual Reaper expand. And one thing that I'd actually like to see played out against AlphaStar would be a multiple Reaper rush. As the AI, it tends to have a hard time predicting like how much it should commit to a defense or how much it should basically not commit to a defense at times, because so I get the feeling that if like you went 2 racks Reaper or something, the AI might be like, oh gosh, I'm getting Reaper rushed, and really bunker down the hatches. And I wonder like how much it would be willing to drone after that, how long it would take, whether it would counterattack, things like that. So I think if we saw like just like the 2 racks macro Reaper build, that would be really, really sweet to see against AlphaStar. As far as this game goes, though, there is now the pool on the way for the AI. Hatchery going to be getting on up. All that good stuff. And then we'll see what this Diamond player is going to do. He throws up his supply depot before his factory, which is an interesting choice. Generally, this is done more so against Protoss, due to the fact that it can deny a Protoss's scout, make them worry, whereas Zerg, their scouting is done by Overlords in the early game. So you can't exactly wall one of those out. So I find this interesting from the Diamond player. And then also the fact throwing the supply depot up there means that he can't really build a reactor in the wall, which is something that you sometimes want to do, something that you sometimes don't want to do, depending on how you're feeling, how much the Zerg is going to cheese. Let's bring some attention to that, by the way, that there is a second Reaper on the way out for the Diamond player. So he is opening up with multiple, which is kind of unique, then throws up his reactor. So not fully relying on, or I guess he threw up the supply depot to have the solid wall, then builds the reactor in the wall anyway. Not a big fan of that because it kind of leaves you with more vulnerable points to a Baneling bust. And if you build it in the corner or something, I find that allows you to see if an Overlord's coming in for a scout a little bit earlier. And then, yeah, that's just something little to think about. The Reapers are engaging the Queen of AlphaStar, which is quite a ways off creep, actually dealing a fair bit of damage to her, so she's going to have to be careful later on. But the Lings are about to have speed for AlphaStar, so the Diamond player's got to pull those back, and he is going to swap his factory over with his barracks, so just doing this normal opening that we see. The couple of Hellions getting fired up. The Diamond player's got a bunker at the front, so I actually really enjoy this build and the way the Diamond player's playing out this game. Now, if we do take a look, yeah, I want to bring up something here. For those of you that don't necessarily follow like pro Starcraft to the T, it's a little bit silly, isn't it, that you can't choose the way that a reactor pops up on one side of factory or not, as it does put the Terran at quite a bit of a disadvantage having to have the reactor in their wall, as opposed to if they spawn at the top side, having the reactor not in the wall makes their base much less vulnerable. So it would be cool. Hopefully if there's ever a Starcraft 3, we can pick which way our add-ons are going to face. As far as this build goes, we see the Diamond player, he's making his Hellions, but then he's throwing up his second barracks, so going to have that bio production going. We'll see if he throws up another barracks soon and is going to go for 3 racks. For now, though, just making Hellions. Just making Hellions, doing his thing, so he'll probably move out when he's got his 6 Hellions. AlphaStar is going to be having that Roach Horn on the way at about 53 drones. We'll see if it's going to lead into like a big Roach Flood or attack like that the Zerg sometimes does. And we actually saw Lair start momentarily for AlphaStar, but then it canceled it. Decided to throw up an Evo Chamber, and is now starting to build some Roaches, so that's a little bit curious to me. We do see, though, the AI still squeezing out a drone or 2. Whether there'll be any more after that last drone, that's the question, or whether we're just going to see just Roaches from here on out, and the usual big all-in that AlphaStar does. And if that's the case, I'm going to be a little bit concerned for this Diamond player, because he's not made any siege tanks yet. He doesn't have a wall really at his natural at all. And he's going into double E-bays, which is not going to help you if you're facing off against a ton of Roaches. The Marines with Stim will be good against the Roaches, but there's usually just too many. And the Diamond player is just being very, very passive right now, keeping his Hellions back at home. He's like, oh yeah, I'll repair up this Hellion, which is good, but it's actually not good for him because the Queens are spreading creep out the front door. AlphaStar is just building up this Roach count, and the Hellions aren't out on the map to give him a good enough heads up that this is coming. There's still a chance, though, the Diamond player will be fine. I mean, he's got 3 racks production going, which isn't terrible. However, he's actually a little bit supply block now, so got to solve that. Made 1 siege tank, but you're definitely going to need more than that in order to defend against this. The Hellions are going to be moving up the ramp. They're going to see those Roaches, and he's got to be thinking, that looks like a pretty big attack coming my way. Do we see a bunker get fired up yet? The answer is no. The tank isn't on the high ground, it's on the low ground, so it's going to be easy pickings. And oh boy, here comes the Zerg. This is the classic AlphaStar all-in. There's no air units in the sky for the Diamond player, so he's just going to have to rely on his 38 supply of Bio and Hellions. Well, at least he'll have Hellbats, but it's still not going to be easy for him to hold on. Not at all. He's going to have Stim, yes, but AlphaStar is going to have a ton of Roaches. 158 supply right now against 86. And oh no, the Diamond player salvaged his bunker. Oh, that's not good. That's not good at all. AlphaStar is now going to be moving in with all these Lings, with these Ravagers, pushing forward. This one tank is going to be a very high profile target for the AI. Another tank is out, but it's not sieged up yet. And this is going to make life very rough for the Diamond player, not scouting out at all. AlphaStar going up in supply, going to be maxed out soon, probably waiting for that Carapace. And now the Carapace is done, just going to charge on in. Lings take a shot, the tank moves forward, but a little bit too far forward. There's the Ravagers. This Diamond Terran could be in a lot of trouble. The tank's getting some shots off, the Bio is standing as strong as possible, but take a look. The next tank going to be getting picked off. The Bio's got a pretty good concave. SCVs are being pulled, which I like. He's dodging the Corrosive Bowels, but man, is this ever a lot of Zerg. Can his Bio put out enough damage to pick off these Ravagers? He's going to try. He's got his 1-1 upgrades done, but it looks like his Bio is just going to wear thin. It was a noble attempt from the Diamond player to charge forward with his Bio so boldly, but in the end, he's not going to hold on, and GG AlphaStar takes the sweet, sweet victory. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for tuning into this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to go ahead and slap that like button. I know the first one was a little bit of a snooze fest with it being a silver player, but we're casting every AlphaStar game on this channel, and we're going to live up to that promise. And then hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. We're trying to hit 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and we've got a ways to go yet. So you can go ahead and do that to support the cause, and then join the Discord if you haven't. We talk StarCraft, AlphaStar, all that good stuff, and consider becoming a member if you do want to support the channel. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is LaughNgamez. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.